What's up YouTube, we're back again with a new video. In today's video, I will be showing you how to make a liquid stretch transition. It's really dope if you can pull it off. It's pretty much easy and it should be very short to follow along. If you end up enjoying this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe if you're new here, and without further ado, let's get right into it. So I'm on Adobe After Effects right now, and we're going to be doing this liquid stretch effect on this clip. The first thing you want to do, you want to identify the areas which you want to do this liquid stretch. I want to use a masking of the artist, which is David at this moment. And I'm going to identify somewhere about right here. I'm going to hit Ctrl+Shift+D to split the layer. And then I'll go a few frames or seconds forward and up to this point. I'm going to hit Ctrl+Shift+D once again. So we have the first part, and then we're going to do masking on this one. Let me name it Roto Brush. We're going to roto that, and then this will be the second part of this video. And I'll also label this layer to a different color. So this is the area which you're going to do this liquid stretch. I want to Roto Brush the video only, so hit your Roto Brush tool right here and then just double click on this clip and it will take you to the layers panel. And with the Roto Brush tool, you want to draw around the artists. Make sure to get a good selection at first so that it doesn't mess up. That's a good one. And then I'll also hold Alt while deselecting these areas so that the software can read the areas which I want to do this tracking on. And whenever you find this difficulty with the Roto Brush and you are starting to get frustrated with getting the first selection, I always advise to just delete that Roto Brush and then start afresh. I'll try to get a clean look around the artist now, like this one. This is really good. And then now you can go a few frames forward. I'm going to use page down and page up. Page down to go one frame forward, and then you can adjust these ones. We can let the computer do it on its own, but there are some movements here and this video doesn't have really good contrast between the artist and the background. So I'm going to go frame by frame. I'll see you when I'm done doing this. I'm done selecting the Roto Brush. I went frame by frame for this one because of the difficulty in contrast between the artist and the background. And then once I'm done, make sure to come here to this gray square box right here. Make sure to extend those frames and then click on freeze. And now with that selection done, we can go back to our composition layer. And if we see through this footage, just like that, we have a really good mask around the artist for a few frames. Now I'll collapse this layer and then I'll hit Ctrl+D to duplicate this one, and then on the layer which is right below, I'll go and disable the Roto Brush on the effect controls. So we have one selection which has the artist only, you can see, and then I'll enable the one below. It has the artist plus the background. So let me rename here Roto Brush plus background. It's really important if you can be organized. And then this one, it's just Roto Brush. And on this Roto Brush, you're going to place the effect, go to Effect and Presets. If you cannot find these effects and presets, go to Windows and ensure Effects and Presets is enabled. Make sure to be on your composition layer to see whatever you're doing. And then you're going to look for CC Scale Wipe. I'll drag it on my Roto Brush. And afterwards, what you're going to be playing is with this direction, the center and the stretch. So for the direction, let's have this stretch going to the right hand side. So let's put it at 90 degrees. And then I will stretch this value so that you can see what happens. I'll put it at around 20. Now I need this to also reflect on this head area. What you need to alter is this center value. If I try pushing it on the y-axis, you can see it goes right up to the head like that. And this is what we want. After adjusting this center value, all you're going to play with is keyframes for stretching. And let me also show you why direction matters. At 90 degrees, it goes to the right hand side. If we put it at 40 degrees, it goes to the northeastern end. And if I put it at 180 degrees, it will go downwards. We'll just need a 90 degree. And then we are going to add a keyframe for stretching. Once I've enabled this stopwatch, hit U on this layer. Push that keyframe to the right hand side about 2 frames. and then at the initial stance just start at 0 so that it starts morphing into this effect real quick. And then you can see it stops aiming at this head area. Maybe we need to adjust the property for the center. I'm going to lift it up like that so it holds on for the entire duration. And that's just about it. You have the complete effect. If you want to make it a little bit more liquidish, go to your effects and presets and add a liquify. It should be right under distort. Drag it and drop it on the Roto Brush again. And then with the liquify, what it will enable, it will help you carve out these distortions. All you need to do, go to your warp tool options, and then you can have the brush size bigger or smaller. I'll put it at around 80 like this. And then you need to select which type of liquifying you want to do. I'll select this first one, and just notice I'll click and drag downwards, and it has given us that good ripple. And you can do it for other areas like here, and that's just about it. If we play it back, we have those good looking frames. Now that's it. I'll show you a second example which I did. In this other example, I followed one clip of this artist and another shot which continues with the same artist. Now I'll do a quick roto brush and show you a simple variation I did on this one. Yeah, and now it's done doing the masking. If we go back to composition, the roto brush should be really good. So that's it. We're going to do the same thing we did on the other one. On the roto brushed layer, hit Ctrl D to duplicate, and on this layer below, go to your effect controls. You can disable or delete this effect. Let me also give this a different color. And on this layer right above, we're going to go again to our effects and presets, CC scale wipe. Again, drag the CC scale wipe to your clip. We do the same thing, put it on 90 degrees, and then we're going to keyframe the stretch and the center. Come back to this clip, hit U, and you'll see those keyframes. I'll go 1-2 frames, and then I'll increase this stretch to 20. Whichever value which seems realistic to you, put it right there. And then for the center, I'll make sure it reaches the head, and then I'll come back to the stretch and then increase it like that. So we are having these 2 keyframes because the clip is also going to change and you're going to have another scene. So let's go on with it and see if it works. And on this second part, those effects don't seem to copy into it. So we have to change these properties. You see it's right beneath instead of covering the entire subject. That's why we are also using these keyframes. So right before that transition, I'm using page up and page down to go keyframe by keyframe. I'll add these keyframes, and then on the next keyframe, we're going to change this center value so that it covers the entire artist. Now we've actually changed the center only. And then right before everything goes back, add another keyframe, enable them, but you're not changing any value. And then 2 keyframes to the end, put everything back to 0. So we'll have the stretch go back to 0. So it will go like this. Like that. You can highlight on all your keyframes, right click, put them on easy ease so that they have a dramatic change. Like that. That's pretty much it. And then we also added a liquify effect to the previous one. We're going to do the same thing. Drag and drop the liquify. Pick the tools. You can change the brush size as I showed you. I'll use this normal one. Drag these waves below. You can be extreme if you want to. And now if we play this back, it adds that fluidity into it. You can play around with this liquid stretch. If you have this Red Giant Universe preset, again, I link down below a site which you can get all these plugins for free. So I'll go to the Red Giant Universe and I look for a glow, just a normal glow by the Red Giant Universe. And you can see what it does to this clip. It adds a bit of color into it and brightness. With this red giant universe glow, you can play around with the keyframes for intensity. So let's go in the beginning of this Roto Brush, add a keyframe for intensity, sorry, not size. And then I'll go 2 frames and then I'll increase this intensity. Yeah, like that. You can have it go down or up depending on what you're trying to get. And at the end of it all, I'll also add a keyframe again. Just click, if your keyframes are too many, hit U to collapse, hit U again, and then you'll see the only keyframes that you've added. Add a keyframe, and then on the last frame before it goes back, put the intensity back to 0. And you have something good going on. That's it from me for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I did prepping it for you. If you happen to do something like this, you can tag me on Instagram. My handle is right beside on the screen. I'll be happy to interact and see what you guys do with this one. I hope to see you in the next video. If you enjoy such content, kindly subscribe. I make weekly video editing tutorials. I have a bunch of videos which could be very helpful. See you in the next one. Make sure to keep chasing your dreams, and cheers.